It's amazing to me that when we hear the name Franklin Delano Roosevelt, we should immediately think China. It was one of the major influences in young FDR's life. His mother, Sarah Delano Roosevelt, grew up in a mansion in Hong Kong. Sarah Delano Roosevelt was the one who paid Franklin's bills. Franklin Roosevelt never had any big high-paying jobs. He was a public servant most of his life. But he had yachts, he had townhouses in New York, summer place up in Maine. Where did that money come from? It came from the Delano line. Where did the Delanos get the money? Grandpa Warren Delano was the American opium king of China. He was the biggest American opium dealer. People are surprised Warren Delano was an opium dealer, a criminal in the eyes of the Chinese. If you go all over the East Coast, you'll see the influence of opium fortunes. Go to the campus at Yale University. The tomb, which is the headquarters for the Skull and Bones Society, is on the campus of Yale University. That tomb is still financially supported by the Russell Trust. Warren Delano worked for the Russell family. It was the Russell Company that he worked for, the biggest opium dealers in China. Yale is built on land donated by opium barons. The #1 most famous building on Columbia's campus is the Low Library. That's named after Abbott Lowe, who dealt opium with Warren Delano out there in China. Princeton University's first big benefactor was Stephen Green. Stephen Green took over Russell and Company's opium operations after Warren Delano returned back to the United States, a rich man. America's first manufacturing city, Lowell, Massachusetts, was founded by opium money. The first railroads in the East Coast, opium money. Ralph Waldo Emerson, the great transcendentalist, how come he had so much time to sit around and think? Because he married into an opium fortune. The Council on Foreign Relations, the Coolidge family, opium. Chiquita Banana, AT&T. Scratch the history of anybody with the name Forbes in their name, like Secretary of State John Forbes Carey, and you'll see an opium fortune. His great-grandfather was an opium dealer. So, when the Chinese talk about 100 years of humiliation, this is what they're talking about. We were shoving opium under the eyes of the British, French, and the United States navies. Warren Delano was consul out there in Canton and welcomed the first Navy ships, U.S. Navy ships, to participate in the first Opium War.